Welcome back to our channel, guys. So last couple of days I've been getting some brake noise from this rear right tire. Just some time back, around 26,000 kilometers, I had replaced the front brake pads, but now I feel it's time for replacing the rear brake pads as well. So when I was replacing the front brake pads, uh, there was still some life left for the rear, so I didn't want to unnecessarily change them. But now I think it's time to change because now it's making noise. So I'm going to Sky Automobiles, and they will check whether the disc requires any skimming or just the brake pad needs to be changed. And then I think that should be it. There is some noise from the tires as well, so I'm planning to do a tire wheel alignment. So the issue started 2 days back when I started hearing some whistling kind of noise. Even though without even though I was not pressing any brake, that noise keeps coming while you are driving the car. So then I just checked the rear wheels, and it looks like the issues with the brake pads. The right side of the rear wheel brake pad has actually gone out of its life, and in fact it has gone beyond its life. So now there is a small metal piece which is now touching the disc. So maybe I should not have waited, but I had no clue because 700 didn't tell me about it. So if there are any issues with your front brake pad, it is a sensor base, so it does tell you, on your dashboard, it does tell you that there is an issue with your front brake pads and they need to be changed, or if they are worn out. But unfortunately the rear brake pads are not sensor based, so you will not get any kind of warning. So basically the best thing is to get the rear brake pads changed while you are changing the front brake pads, or otherwise you have to keep a track of how many kilometers ideally you think the rear brake pads would last, and then maybe keep a reminder or something like that, and then get them changed proactively rather than waiting for some kind of damage to the disc, or waiting to hear some kind of noise. In my case, I had forgotten completely. So it's now, I think, 5,500 kilometers from my last brake pad change, which was the front brake pads, which is a good thing. So basically the front brake pads lasted around 26,000 and the rear lasted around 31,500. So around 32,000 kilometers rear, which is a good life. I mean, considering the ADAS and features like that in 700, wherein brakes are constantly in use, irrespective of you using the pedals. So that kind of life is okay. I mean, ideally for other cars like 500, I used to own XUV 500, but then they used to last a long, for 40,000-50,000 at least. But this all the technology and all, which is again for your safety, so it's fine. I mean, to have a lesser brake life, but then the safety is also very important. So good. So now I'm going to Sky Automobiles, which is around 10-12 kilometers from here. Driving it in this condition, there is some noise constantly coming in, but hopefully it does not damage the disc, and we only need to change the brake pads. So let's see. I'll keep you posted. That's Sky Automobiles. Now I've just reached. Now the advisor is taking the details, and the car will now enter into the work mode. They'll check the brake pads and get them replaced. Luckily they have the brake pads in stock, so that way I will not have any waiting time. And I also want to get the humming noise from the rear right tire. So let's see, the tire wala here should be able to figure out whether the tires have gone bad or there is some alignment issue. Now the car is being taken in the Bay Area. They'll put it on the ramp and then start changing the disc pads, brake pads. Now tires are being opened. Once opened, they'll check the disc pads. So that's how the disc looks. Doesn't look damaged at all. These are basic lines. See the noise. So basically the pad has gone very thin and now it's directly, the metal is touching the disc, and that is why you find this noise. So I somehow managed to drive in this condition and reached here. It was just 10-12 kilometers, so I didn't bother, but ideally you should not drive in this condition, otherwise you might end up getting sparks. So now I'm waiting for the new brake pads, and the engineer will decide whether the skimming requires to be done or not. Usually disc skimming is done if there is this thing is rough. I don't find this rough. This is very smooth. If it at all it gets rough, then they will do skimming. That means they'll cut a bit of some of this disc and make it smooth, so there are no vibrations while braking at high speed. But I don't see any need of doing that. Let's see. Let the engineer decide. So one side the brake pads have been removed. These were not that bad. So if you see this, so this is the lock. So on the left side the lock is still way ahead, so that means this is not making noise. But in the right side of, that side which is making noise, this is gone almost below this lock. That means this lock is now touching the disc, and that is why you see that noise, you hear that noise. So this is the rear wheel left brake pad, which is still okay. So this is the part which holds both the brake pads, and this is the disc. He removes this, the right side which is actually making noise. I'll show you that the lock has actually started touching the disc, and that is why you keep hearing that noise. But the best part is, the moment you start hearing noise, you should immediately go to the nearest workshop and get it changed. Otherwise you definitely end up damaging the disc. I was lucky enough that it was just 10-12 kilometers and I could easily reach the workshop to get it changed. टच हो रहा है, देखो. See this, in this case the metal is now touching the disc, so there is no brake pad left at all. The metal directly is touching the disc. This is really bad. So now the engineer is suggesting to do disc skimming for both the rear discs. that is the skimming machine. So they will then put it in that machine, and then the one layer of the disc will be cut, so it becomes more smooth. That is my rear left disc, which is being fitted in the lake machine. Now this machine will actually cut some portion of disc from both the sides, so that all the lines which have come because of brake pads gets cleared. So you have to remember that disc skimming can be done only once or twice. You cannot keep doing it multiple times. Once or twice, and then you have to change the disc. हाँ,
इस वजह से
इसमें तो सॉलिड लाइन है, वरना ये नॉइस करना चालू कर देगा.
बहुत टाइम लगा.
हाँ, ये साइड से मतलब वो पीछे का पत्थर घिसना चालू हो गया था.
कौन होंगे?
There are blades on both the sides, and that blades actually do the cutting part. So they'll basically cut some portion of the disc, hardly in mm, and then we'll see a smoother disc. Do you hear that sound? So that is the cutting that is happening. Basically, technically they call it disc skimming, and some people call it disc turning as well. So basically the disc is turned and some portion is cut. One disc is being skimmed, almost done, and this is the next disc being skimmed. Those are the new brake pads being fitted. Left side is almost done. That's the skim disc. There are no lines now. It looks as good as new. With new brake pads on the left side. Once done, he'll do the right hand side. See, it's after skimming, this is how the disc looks. Brand new disc, no lines at all. Basically there are lines on both the sides. So basically skimming is done on both the ends. And now that is these are the new brake pads. Now the right hand side is being done. Left side is done. Finally done. Tires are being fitted, and now I'm going to figure out the tire wala out here and see if there are any alignment issues. Now that I've come to Sky Automobiles, let me fix that as well. Otherwise my brakes work is done. So basically what we did is he put in some brake oil, 2 brake pads and disc skimming, so I'll be charged for those items only. That's my car all set with the new brake pads, and I'm done. Now I'm going home. And just before I was going home, I got to see this 2024 model of XUV 700, which has come here for some Android setting. And this has good tires, at least this one has Bridgestone with good grip, unlike the ones which came with my model, which were Apollo. The best part I like about this is the black alloys, and this is completely black in color. And the captain seats and the front seats are ventilated seats. So I'm finally back. Brakes are doing good. It costed me around 8,500 rupees, which included both the brake pads and disc skimming. And regarding the tires, they suggested to get it checked by a tire station nearby. They seem to have worn out, so that is why I keep getting the humming sound from one of the tires. So basically all the company fitted tires are not that good. They are all the economic version. So maybe the next buy would be good tires for 700, but maybe I'll have to figure out if I can get the all-terrain or off-roading ones, because on the R18, the 18-inch, there isn't any much choice. So the ones that come default with this car, they are 235, 60 and R18. So that is the configuration. I have heard that you can go up till 255 on this car without any touch to the fender. So I might want to go to any tire station people nearby and check that out. But again, that is on trial and error basis. If it works good, then I would prefer taking something like that rather than going with the default configuration, because the default configuration tires don't look that great on this car. Since this is a capable SUV, I would prefer an all-terrain version, or the ones that I can actually go off-road. Even though I have a Thar, but I would love to go off-road on this car as well at times. So that's it for now, guys. See you soon, and do subscribe to this channel to keep getting more such videos and notification on such videos. Thank you, guys.